Hi, this is Terry. Welcome back to my channel. Today's topic is all about claiming our power as women and maybe just changing the world. Today I had the pleasure, we're recording this on Thursday because hair and makeup's done. I don't want to do it tomorrow. And Ray was getting kind of persnickety with me about waiting to the last minute and arguably
for good reason.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're getting this done a couple days ahead of time. And I gave a keynote on claiming our power as women to change the world.
Can we have this video not be the 30-minute long speech that you did this morning?
Yes, it's not going to be a rehash of the speech. I have a couple things I do want to talk about from the speech. It went really, really well. I think the event was well attended, and the messages that were coming through were very positive as I was speaking. I'd love to be able to see them. I don't know how I'd be able to do that. The conference was the Changing Tides, the Wave Tour, and Jen LeBlanc. This was the first of, I think, will probably be many, the Wave Tour conferences. Jen did a fabulous job. Jen and her team did a great job with the conference, and it's wrapping up pretty much as I'm recording this. I think the next thing up is cocktail hour. With this, I think you see the flowers behind me. Christina, who's the CEO of Farm Girl Flowers, sent those beautiful flowers yesterday. I just absolutely love women's events. Because we get great goodies and there's just a lot of love and support and good energy. And I was reminded that I miss all of that with COVID and sheltering in place and just not being able to get together with women. Virtually, it's not the same, but it's at least something. Last night, as I was frantically preparing for my talk, I've done this talk before, so I didn't have to start over from scratch, but I was trying to think, because I was giving a keynote and it was a 30-minute keynote, I wanted to make sure that it was polished and it was perfect and I got the message across, and it was the what, the so what, the now what, the people left with the right feeling and the right impression and the some sort of an action to take as a result of it. And I was really kind of wound up about it because I was trying to do something that's really not me. I think I would be hard pressed to ever do a TED Talk because it would require putting something together, memorizing it, delivering it 1,000 times to make sure that it was perfect. And I kind of just like to wing it. And so kind of like these YouTube videos, sketch out some notes and then go ahead and deliver. The good news is the setup for it was exactly this, so I was super comfortable. But as I said, I was really hung up, and so I was also really caught up in my headspace because the consulting work that I've been doing is very analytical, and well, there's some creativity around it. It's compliance creativity. It's not necessarily, fun creativity. So I had to move from my head space into my heart space and my body space to be able to effectively deliver the message I wanted to deliver to the women who were attending this conference. And so I thought, what the heck, I'll open up a room on Clubhouse, and I titled it Claiming Our Power as Women to Change the World. And I thought maybe I would tap into some amazing women on Clubhouse, and they delivered. So if you were in that room, I just want to say thank you so much. You helped me. I appreciated it. I appreciated the different responses. One of the gals, I asked, what is it that you're doing? And she said, well, I'm trying to claim my sensuality, my sexuality for myself and not be so focused on the male gaze. And I was like, God, that was not the response that I expected when I asked the question to the women who showed up in the room. Then 2 women who were so awesome just started asking me questions. After a while, I realized they were trying to help get me into the right headspace by asking me questions, and it was incredibly helpful. I was tired, I was anxious, so I stumbled. I really struggled with answering some of the questions, but ultimately was able to get into the right place. And I tweeted a big thank you out because it was incredibly helpful. My friend Susan Siriota, who's the CEO of Waggett, also popped in, and she just said, Terry, stop worrying. Just be you. Just deliver. You've already helped so many women in so many different ways that you just be you. And that really helped as well. That gave me pretty much permission to scrap the need to be polished and be the unpolished, rough cut, do the rough cut delivery that is really, excuse me, is really on brand. What's also on brand is, even though I was delivering it at 9:15 this morning, I opened up some champagne and drank some champagne while I was delivering it. When I gave this talk for the first time a little over a year ago in San Diego at Women's Venture Summit, I had flight issues. I was surprised I actually got there on time, and I was like, if somebody could get me a glass of champagne, that would be just perfect. We weren't able to make that happen, but I was able to make it happen for my talk this morning. So it was awesome. So then by 3:30, I was exhausted, and Ray wanted to film this, and I was napping.
You said we could film at 3:30. I was like, okay. And then I got out of class at like 2:15 maybe, and that's when you decided to take a nap, and I was like, okay, that's plenty of time. And then you wake up at like 4, and then you get back onto the conference.
Yeah.
And then now at like 4:35, an hour and a half. No, 4:45. Yeah, right now it's nearly 5. So
Someone's annoyed with me. So
yes, because I have other things that I could have been doing, but I was waiting for you.
I apologize. But I got out of I had a booth from 1:30 to 3, and I got out at 2:45. So it was closer to 3 when I crawled into bed. And I thought maybe I would just nap for half an hour, but then I napped for an hour. But anyway.
That's why you set a timer when you nap.
Yes. Apparently I needed it. I have been under a significant amount of stress lately, and it was quite a relief to be able to finish that and finish my part of the conference. I was able to see the 5 pitches from the women founders who were pitching during the pitch showcase. Because my friend Candace Smith with Caregiving was pitching, and I wanted to make sure to support her. So, but one of the things that was that I was reminded of when I was prepping for and then delivering the speech is the way that we as women can show up for other women, and how important it is for us to do so. I was, excuse me, I was also talking to Candace yesterday when I was preparing kind of my thoughts about what I wanted to talk about how. It's just like we women should come together collectively in order to change the world. But you know what? Not all women, and we don't have to align with all women. We can find ways. We should be aligning with women who are value aligned with us, and potentially targeting the changes and the influence and affecting the change that we want. Maybe in smaller groups, and have those be targeted, and then as a whole, then we're moving women forward and potentially getting to the point of leveling the playing field. As I started the talk with, after I said I was drinking champagne, imagine we were living in a world where there was proportional representation within our governments, within our, on boards, in terms of who controls funding, etc. Imagine we lived in that world.
That's a funny joke.
Well, every day I try to do something to move us closer to that, and I would like to see more of us get on board with doing that, including you men out there. We can't do this without you. So I talked about some of the things that we can do as women, like when women say things happen to them or their experience, rather than automatically dismissing it, why don't we believe women? I think more often than not, like 95% of the time, women are saying the truth, and then oftentimes we dismiss it. Also, in those times or when things happen, we should be standing by women and not letting them stand out and get, crucified or struggle on their own. That we should stand up by and for other women. We also have the opportunity to support women by promoting them, by being their advocates, making introductions, opening up our networks, and making it so that we can remove some of the friction and the obstacles that women face when they're trying to accomplish what it is that they're trying to accomplish. So just make it a little easier. I'd like to make it a lot easier, but if we can do like what I did with the October 2019 hashtag liftnotdrag challenge was just do something every single day to support another woman. Just an easy little thing.
That was over a year ago.
Yeah, that was Lift Not Drag was in October of 2019.
I feel like the majority of my contributions to this channel are just me being completely oblivious to the passage of time.
Well, I get it. I get it. And this year has just been really crazy. And then the final thing that we can do, which I think is the most significant, is being very intentional about our spend. So buy from women, and just like I did in June with the hashtag shifteconomicpower, buy from Black women, buy from Latinas, buy from lesbian women, buy from it doesn't matter, just buy from women and be intentional. In my talk, I was excited that, once again, I'm wearing Rosalind Designs, and I've got the Das Couture t-shirt. A couple more t-shirts came today, so we'll be shaking it up so you won't see the same thing every single time. But also, I ordered some gin from Freelands Gin, which is also woman-owned and operated up in Oregon. And
I like it when she orders that gin because then I get a full bottle.
The bottles are absolutely beautiful. Maybe you can pop a picture in of that.
I'm too lazy to do that today.
That's fine. And then I should have some champagne coming from the Sip Society, which is not only women-owned but Black women-owned business. And I'll put a link to that in the description because you've got gifts coming up. That's a great subscription idea. Back there, I've got some stuff from Handmade. Kelly Rand is the founder CEO behind that company. And it's just, I love being able to do that. And I think that's something that, since, 85% of household consumer spend and healthcare spend go through a woman's, goes through a woman's pocketbook, or we influence the decisions on somewhere between 65 and 85%. That's a significant amount of money and power that we can influence. And it takes a little bit longer, just as everything else just adding to everything else that we do. But I think, as I've said before, money is power. Let's go ahead and use it so that we can affect the change that we want. And I think, let's do a quick check-in with Finn. Anything?
I am tired and slightly grumpy.
Really? I couldn't tell. I'll make you a cup of tea after this. How's that? With some honey?
Sure.
Someone needs a little extra TLC. Speaking of a little extra TLC, I did open up today on Clubhouse. I do a self-promotion support group weekly work sessions so that people who are really struggling with promoting themselves, promoting their brands, their products, etc., they can have a dedicated work hour. And I met this woman, this wonderful woman, Toyosi, who loves champagne, is a connector, is an empath, and, was struggling with self-promotion. And I loved her energy. It was so great. And I was just reminded, once again, with all of this that's going on with my day, is how powerful women's energy and support can be, and how much I appreciate it. So this goes out to all the women out there. Thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for sending all the love and support, for doing what it is that you do in the world, and for making the world a better place. Melinda Gates, in her book, Moment of Lift, talks about how as women thrive, societies thrive. So if we lift up women, we lift up societies, and I am a firm believer in that. And hopefully with having Kamala Harris as Madam Vice President, hopefully we will start to see some of that shift within the United States as well, because I think it's much, much needed. So with that, anything else? Grump-a-lump? Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching and subscribing. If you think there's somebody else who should be watching this, please share it with them. We were up to 194 subscribers, then we dropped to 192. Now we're back up to 193. So I'd really like to end with 200 by the end of the year. And yes, I know where those two went, and I'm not sorry that they left. So with that, take some risks, let go of perfection, and above all else, have some fun.